let's talk about this LinkedIn post from a few years ago. A lot of people actually asked me to talk about this LinkedIn post because they felt that this story resonated a lot with their own. I belong to the generation that came of age in the 2000s. Hearing people in suits on TV yell big words like reduce, reuse, recycle, and quote several reports, graphs, charts, this and that and whatnot. This got me thinking on a very personal level. Memories took me back to my village childhood days in India. I define my parents actually as minimalists. What does that mean? They never buy stuff that they don't need. If my parents throw away anything as trash, we could be 100% sure that it couldn't be recycled anymore. As kids, my sister and I were always instructed to take great care of everything that we owned so that the things lasted long. Today, thinking about this, my mature mind draws that these were nothing but reduce, reuse, and recycle taught rather practically. My parents were not pundits in environment science, but they infused it in their children's lives. As a child, I remember my mom carefully storing away clothes as I was getting big for it, so that they could be used by my little sister a few years later. When she grew out of it, it was given to someone else, to whose child even those used pair of clothes were a luxury. Now, if it were unwearable at all, my mom would tear it apart and use it as a floor mop. When it was unfit for even that, she would shred it and dump it into the compost pit in our farm to make manure. My sister used the same school textbooks as I did, and they still remain safe in my closet at home, by the way. I got my first computer in 2002. It was a used one my dad bought for me to learn to use a computer. It was a 256 MB RAM, a Windows 95 desktop with very minimal features. I opened 5 windows and then the cursor would freeze on me, things like that. My dad proclaimed, by the way, at that time that the computer was great enough for me and my sister to use and bad enough for him to not be worried if he broke it. In India, majority consider fuel efficiency as the number one factor while making vehicle purchase decisions. I was taught to turn off lights, fans, and computers from my days in Indian classrooms, all throughout college as well. After all these years, I still feel a subconscious guilt leaving any room with the lights on. At home, I was discouraged to use the washing machine at less than full load, so I hand washed my clothes most of the time when there were just a couple of them. I was always told to shut the refrigerator door as soon as possible and to turn off the engine at red lights. Well, imagine doing that, turning an engine off at red lights here in the US, like you would get honked left, right, and center because, you need to go. Well, not that it doesn't happen in India, of course, but you get my point. All our kitchen waste went into the compost in the farm manure pit. So we had like a pit in our farm, which we threw all the compost in. And then once a year, we would just, get all that compost and go fertilize the entire farm. And polythene bags from the grocery stores, well, what do we do with them? We used to save them to be reused as trash bags. I can never remember my parents buy a trash bag. They always used these. I was very not used to the idea of buying trash bags, but that I thought that trash bags are not something that people even don't sell. That was how accustomed I was to this idea of like just reused trash bag. Old newspapers and hard plastic waste was sold, in fact, to a local recycle or scrap dealer for money. Now here in the US, all the old newspapers or hard plastic waste, there are these 5-cent deposits that you get from old Coke bottles and things like that. For the large part, there's no circular economy where you can repurpose this or sell it for money. Ask most of the kids in India though, and they'll have lived a lifestyle very similar to this. You ask someone who lived in a city and they probably are a little deviated from this, but not a whole lot. This is how most families in the 600,000 plus villages and cities of India live the mantra of reduce, reuse, and recycle silently. They are not environmental experts, nor would they understand any analysis or charts regarding it. However, I believe they contribute a respectable lot to reduce their household carbon footprint. In my case, and in the case of most middle-class families, austerity is not out of poverty. It's out of a consciousness to prevent financial leakage, that occurs from wasting resources. The habit of saving has thus always been a part of our household and of our culture. It's directly in the incentive structure that if you don't waste a lot of stuff, you would not waste a lot of money as well. In most workplaces here in the US, most of us don't even shut down our computers. Locking the screen or sleep mode is as far as it goes. Lights and monitors, of course, stay on 24/7 in the office. There's more than one car per any house, and more often than not, there is but one person in any car on the road. I'll not lie, my own subconscious environment consciousness has gone down significantly as well. I'm not really making this video or wrote this article to exemplify any one culture's importance in waste creation or the management of waste, but to point out that sustainability can in fact start from where we are, from home, anywhere, at any small capacity. A nation is actually built by people, and the economics of people are built by lifestyle. So if you look at a nation, what is it really? It's a figment of our imagination, which is an extension in the limit of all the people's lifestyles integrated over time and over geography and over cultural differences across the country. And urban life does actually impose some practical limitations to going all out green. So there are a lot of things that we really are restricted, cannot do, but there's definitely more that can be done than what we are doing collectively right now, even at a personal level, me included. So I challenge you to find those small things, even one thing every week that you have wasted, and then try to do better the next week, not wasting it. Even if it is a few cents, even if it is a few dollars, that doesn't matter. The fact is that this thing, this piece of matter could actually have been useful in a certain way, and we did not let it manifest its full potential. This is really important to me. This is part of why I wrote this article as well. This is a very important topic in my mind. I'm looking forward to speak on all of these kinds of topics, project my opinions, things like that. So please like, share, and subscribe this video to see more content like this. See you next time. Bye.